Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today it's all about air tricks. I'm going to give you some info and some insights about the different air trick categories and the different air tricks from basic to advanced. So let's go. I have already done some other progression guides. My latest one is about basic water tricks, then one about basic feature tricks and a general progression guide. So go check them out. I will link them up here. Before trying air tricks, you should be able to do basic tricks on the water, on features, on kickers, because it's important to have some kind of board control. Some control over your heel side edge and your toe side edge. This will make learning air tricks way easier and you will learn them way faster than when you're starting off too early. Some tricks you should be able to do is to be able to edge really well on your heels and on your toes, to do some basic water tricks like ollie, 360s on the water, landing to blind, and first basic feature hits, maybe also already some 360s on the kicker and some basic flips. Then you're definitely ready to go and try some air tricks. How to start learning air tricks, or how to start with your first air trick. It can definitely be helpful to start off on a 2-tower cable system, because it might be easier to learn the air tricks there, and it also might be less painful because the operator can slow down the speed and you can practice the air tricks in the corners or in the turning point of the 2-tower system. So it might be easier to get the feeling of how to release your board off the water, because this is usually the hardest point or the hardest part of learning how to do an air trick. Learning how to release and learning how to scoop into the water to get pulled out into the air might be easier to learn on a 2-tower system. However, learning how to edge and build up proper tension might be even harder or definitely different on a 2-tower system than on a full-size cable park. It's just another tension and you're practicing the edge on a straight. So when you're able to do an air trick at the 2-tower cable park, you won't be automatically able to bring it onto the full sides, but it definitely might be helpful. I can definitely recommend it to at least start off at the 2-tower and then bring it onto the full sides cable park. There are 3 main categories of air tricks. There are the railie-based tricks, the roll-based tricks, and the front flip-based air tricks. I personally recommend you to start off with the air railie. Some people might recommend you to start off with a back roll, because a back roll might be less painful to learn. Because after the release, you immediately turn your body and initiate the back roll rotation and might be even able to land it without a proper release. And usually it doesn't hurt so much because you will land on your side and won't do a face plant. But I definitely recommend to start off with a railie, because if you are able to do a proper air railie, you know how to release properly. And you release and go straight up. When you're able to do a back roll, you first learn it immediately with the rotation. If you have started off with a back roll, it might be harder to go continue and learn an air railie. If you have started off with a railie, it will be easier to learn the other air trick categories. The air railie looks like a Superman and is maybe one of the most impressive tricks you can do on a wakeboard. When I went to a wakeboard cable park the first time and saw people doing air railies, I just said, wow, this is the trick I want to be able to do. So And yeah, that's how I got into wakeboarding. So I think, yeah, in general, air tricks are an important part of the sport because they bring more and more people watching and bring into the sport. So going on with the air rally, really like the basic air trick. And I've already done a rally tutorial, so go check it out here. As soon as you know how to do an air rally, you're ready to do a back roll. And it's basically releasing the board off the water and then doing a back roll. And it's also heel side. So as I've already said, there are the three main categories and you can do them off your heels, so off your heel side edge, or off your toes, off your toe side edge. Heel side rally, heel side back roll, heel side front flip, and then toe side rally, toe side back roll, and toe side front roll or toe side front flip. Starting off with the air rally, then also learning a heel side back roll, or starting off with a back roll and then learning the rally. Then you're definitely ready to learn a heel side front flip, which is basically flipping off your heel side edge to the front, doing a front flip. Then you can also try an S-bend. An S-bend is basically quite similar to a front flip, but the difference is an S-bend belongs to the rally category because the release is similar, or it's actually the same release like for a rally. So you release and go straight up into the air and then perform an S-bend, spinning with looking through your armpit and then performing the S-bend rotation, rather than flipping tip over tail, which would be a front flip. Then of course adding spins to all of those air tricks. For example, an air rally with a frontside 180 is called a crypt. So as soon as you've landed a rally, you can try a crypt. Heel side back roll to revert, which would be a back roll with a frontside 180. Front flip to revert, front flip with a frontside 180. And of course, all tricks also switch. I definitely recommend you to try those air tricks switch as soon as possible. So as soon as you've managed to learn a rally, back roll and front flip, go out and try them switch. The first air trick to recommend in switch position is definitely the half cap roll, which is a switch back roll with a frontside 180. This is usually quite easily to learn because you're performing it to the inside of the cable park, very close to the corner, and do a short cut around the corner and learn a switch half cap roll. That was my first switch air trick. And then going on with a switch rally, switch crypt, switch front flip, and so on. And of course also switch S-bend. As soon as you have learned how to add the frontside rotation to those air tricks, try landing them to blind. So for example, a rally to blind, rally with a backside 180 is called blind judge. Then of course the back roll to blind and front flip to blind. Those are really nice looking tricks, especially when adding a grab before pulling them to blind. For example, back roll to blind with a tail grab or stalefish grab, or a front flip to blind with a tail grab, and of course also S-bend to blind. Then going on, maybe starting off with learning your first toe side air tricks. For example, the toe side rally. or the toe side back roll. Those tricks might be a bit more challenging because you're doing them off your toe side edge, and it might be harder to create a strong edge and to really lean against the cable. So this might take some more practice to learn how to do all those toe side tricks. And of course, besides the toe side railie, toe side back roll, also the toe side front roll, or usually you land them to revert, which would be called toe side scarecrow. Learning different air tricks will definitely make you a better all-around rider and definitely improve your board control. Some general tips for air tricks on how to edge. Go on your edge progressively. Start off slow, take your time, and then edge more and more aggressively. This will help you to not only create speed, but also tension. Try to keep the angle of your arms around 90 degrees and keep the handle as close as possible. Then releasing the board off the water. It is really important to dig your heels into the water, and the motion of the release feels a bit like kicking a ball backwards. At this moment, at this point of time, this is the most important time where you want to keep all the tension and stay back. Then you will get pulled out of the water immediately and can perform your first air trick. If you don't stay back and, for example, let go your arms, then you will lose all the tension immediately. So it's really important to stay back and to keep all the tension, to get pulled upwards. For switch air tricks, creating tension is the same, but you're edging towards the inside of the cable park. So usually you perform it after or around a corner, and you usually have to stay on your edge a bit longer to create the same tension, because you're edging to the inside of the cable park and it's a bit harder to create the speed and the tension. As soon as you're able to land your air tricks to blind, you should also try to add a frontside and a backside 360 to them. For example, a railie with a frontside 360 is called 313. A railie with a backside 360 is called 303. So railie backside 360. Back roll with a frontside 360 is called a back mob. A back roll with a backside 360 is called a KGB. Killer green butt, because you usually will land on your butt the first times when trying this trick, and this will give you a green butt. All tricks with a added frontside 360 rotation are called mob. So that's why a back roll with a frontside 360 is called back mob. A front flip with a frontside 360 is called front mob. S bend with a frontside 360 S mob. And as I already said, of course, you can also add a backside 360. So for example, a front flip with a backside 360 you can call front KGB or front blind mob. So a S-bend with a backside 360 is called heart attack. Going on, of course, adding frontside 540s to those air tricks. But this is definitely more like a pro level. There's an open end, you can always do more. For example, railie 720. But yeah, this is definitely pro level riding. I hope I was able to give you a good introduction and some valuable insights into air tricks. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, of course, comment them below. Also let me know what you want to see in the next video. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Enjoy the process and see you all in the next video. Bye!